What's going on, everybody? Welcome to After Prison Show, and today is day number 6 of our 20-day prison story marathon. And in this video, I'm going to tell you about what it's like to get something stolen from you while in prison. Before we dive into this, however, there's a few things I need to say. First of all, thank you to everybody who smashed that like button on yesterday's video, helping that video reach over 8,000 likes. I did not honestly think we were going to see over 8,000 likes on that video. But again, thanks to everyone who did smash that like button. I said that if we did reach over 8,000 likes, I would respond to every single comment on that video. And there are like 4,000 plus comments on that video right now. So what I'm going to end up doing with that is making a video responding to every single comment on that video. And that'll actually be up early next week. I mean, you got to give me some time here. With 4,000 plus comments, you're going to have to give me a little time to get that together. Also, there's been a lot of things going on behind the scenes here on After Prison Show that I really want to bring to all of you. So with that, I think tomorrow is going to be the first double upload. There's going to be 2 videos tomorrow, and I'm going to give you a little sneak peek as to what's to come at the end of this video. And with all of that being mentioned, what do you say we just go ahead and dive head first into day number 6 of this 20-day prison story marathon. You know, while serving time, you got to imagine that stealing is just going to be a part of what comes along with that. You're either going to be somebody who steals from other prisoners, or you're going to be somebody who could potentially be a victim of being stolen from. And in prison, absolutely anything, and I do mean anything, can and oftentimes is stolen. From used bars of soap inside of a soap dish to prison TVs and other electronics, and most certainly, especially, commissary items. No matter what you have in your possession, however little or however much you may have, you have to pretty much guard your belongings 24/7, because you never really know who's watching you, waiting for that moment where they can strike when you're not paying attention and steal those things from you. And this was a lesson that I personally learned at a very young age while serving time. I was like 18 years old, and it was the very first time that I had ever been locked up. And I will never forget this time while being in this one particular cell block, and how I wasn't paying attention to my bag of commissary. I was in someone else's cell talking to them, and after I was done talking to them and then went back into my cell, that entire bag of commissary was gone. And when I saw that it was gone, I already knew right then and there that somebody had stolen it from me. The only problem was I had no idea who had taken it. So I did the only thing that I thought I could do at that time, which was march my little $1.50 little pale white ass out there in front of all of those other guys in that housing unit, and then try to put on the most tough guy, probably Emmy Award winning performance of my lifetime. I walked right out there in front of all of those guys, and mind you, every single guy who was in that housing unit at that time could have beaten my ass. But even with that, I still walked right out there in front of all of those guys and said, I don't know which one of y'all did it, but whichever one of y'all stole my commissary, you tell me you did it. Tell me right now you did it. Be a man about it and tell me to my face you took those items from me. And you know, as I'm going absolutely berserk inside of this housing unit, I mean, I was basically just putting on a show for these guys, because all they ended up doing was just laughing at me. Hey, you ain't gonna do nothing. But I'm damn sure gonna be eating all of your commissary tonight, and you're never even gonna know about it. I mean, you know, if I could actually go back and see myself back then when I was 18 years old, first serving time, I'm sure it would be absolutely embarrassing to me at this point. That was the very first experience I ever had personally with getting something stolen from me. Not only getting something stolen from me, but pretty much getting everything stolen from me while locked up. And from that time right there, I most certainly learned a valuable lesson, and that was you can never not be on your guard while serving time, especially if you have anything at all. It could be the simplest thing like a soap inside of a soap dish. I can't even tell you how many times this actually happened to me, where I would go to take a shower, get done taking a shower, leave from that shower area, and be like, oh shit, I forgot. I just left my soap inside of the bathroom. Go back into that shower within like 5 minutes of leaving from that shower area in the first place, and my soap dish would be sitting right there where I left it. But that used bar of soap, probably with pubes all over it, that would not be in that soap dish. The soap dish would be there, but that used bar of soap would not. I mean, that should really paint the picture for you right there, just how much on your guard you have to be all the time over the littlest damn thing, like a bar of soap. Now, when you think about what makes a person a target to get things stolen from them while locked up, Well, it's either that prisoner is perceived as someone who is weak and their things can be stolen with little chance of repercussions coming from that, or on the flip side, it could be something entirely different, such as a prisoner trying to be too much of a tough guy when really they're not. And I've seen quite a few instances where you'll have these guys who think they're like these super tough guy prisoners running around thinking that they can't be beaten in a fight or they're untouchable, and then they'll come back in from either the rec yard or chow or from wherever else and go back to either their bunk area or cell, only to see that all of their things have been stolen. And in a lot of those cases, those so-called tough guy prisoners will pretty much do exactly what I did when I was 18 years old in that cell block and all of my things have been stolen. Go out in front of the entire housing unit trying to break bad. I wish I knew which one of y'all went in my cell or in my bunk area and took all my stuff. I swear to God, if I knew which one of y'all it was, I'd beat the shit out of you right now. And it's mentioning all of this that brings a pretty crazy story to mind now that I think about it. I can remember this one time there was this prisoner who thought he was one of these tough guys and ended up having this brand new pair of shoes that he had just bought probably like that week prior stolen from him. And the real crazy thing to throw into this is this tough guy acting prisoner, he was also a sex offender as well. And when this guy came back into the housing unit realizing that brand new pair of shoes had been stolen, he announced to all of the other prisoners in there, "I wish I knew which one of y'all stole these shoes from me." And while this guy was portraying this little tough guy image that he tried to carry around with him, this other prisoner walked right up to him and told him, "Hey yo, I stole your shoes." And then proceeded to beat the shit out of this sex offender so-called tough guy prisoner, literally stomping this guy out with that brand new pair of shoes that he had just stolen from that guy on. And you know, aside from like the crazy charges that this guy had, just imagine getting stomped out with a pair of shoes that you bought, and the reason you're getting stomped out by a guy wearing those shoes is because you were trying to act like this tough guy that you weren't while trying to figure out who exactly it was that stole those shoes from you. Oh, and by the way, what ended up happening in that situation was that guy that got stomped out, that sex offender, so-called tough guy prisoner, yeah, he not only told on this guy, he pressed charges on this other prisoner and got this guy some additional time. There's one last story that I want to tell you about in relation to getting something stolen from you in prison. And this involves this little young dude that I met and knew while I was serving time. This guy's name was JT. And JT was a YO. That means youth offender. This guy was like 19 or 20 years old, and I can remember when he first got to the prison, this guy was like scared to death. And in a lot of cases, when you get to prison and you're young, I mean, that's exactly what you're gonna be. And with that, in some of those cases, you might even go as far as to like try to get with a gang. And that is exactly what this little young dude JT did. He ended up joining this gang, and it was like night and day in comparison to how this guy was when he first got to the prison, being this scared little young kid here in prison. And then all of a sudden when he joins this gang, he just thinks that he's this tough guy, how this gang is gonna be there to back him up no matter what. And his entire demeanor just changes like that because of the fact that he is now a part of this gang. But this little young dude came in from being outside at rec, only to see that his locker had been broken open, a technique that's known as popping a lock, something that I'm gonna show you guys how to do real soon here on After Prison Show. But he came in, saw that his locker had been broken open, and all of his commissary had been stolen while he was outside. And the surprising thing about this is that JT didn't do what most prisoners, even what I did when I came and saw that all of my stuff was stolen. He didn't get up in front of everybody announcing to the entire housing unit, "Which one of y'all did this? I swear to God if I knew which one of y'all did this." No, he didn't do any of that at all. In fact, what he ended up doing was going and getting in cahoots with his little gang member buddies, and these guys tried to do like a little investigation to find out who exactly it was who stole this commissary from this dude. And I'm not exactly sure what this investigative process consisted of, but the person that they actually came up with, who they pinpointed as the person who popped JT's locker and stole all of his commissary from him, was like this older white dude in the housing unit who most certainly was not about that life. Meaning that if anyone was gonna steal anything, well, the least likely of suspects should have been this old white dude that they thought had done this. But because these little young youth offender gang member prisoners thought they had all the sense in the world, thought they knew everything, These guys ended up jumping this older white dude and stealing everything that he had in retaliation for him supposedly being the one who stole these items from JT. And they ended up beating this older dude so bad to the point where he actually had to go to the hospital. All of these little young gang member dudes ended up going to the hole pretty much immediately, because as soon as the guards came in and got the older guy out of there, took him to the hospital, they were able to see right there on the cameras what had happened. And these dudes not only ended up running their level up from a level 2 to a level 4, where I can promise you their time was definitely going to be a lot more difficult than it already was at this level 2. But not only did they run their level up, they ended up catching additional charges, one of which being assault by mob. And I think I heard something to the effect that these guys ended up getting like an additional 5 years apiece for beating up this old dude so bad, sending him to the hospital, who again was like the least likely of prisoners to have stolen these items from JT in the first place. And I mean, I don't even know what to make of all of that. I can only imagine that these guys are sitting at this level 4 facility, probably having like the worst freaking time of their life. Their time is probably as difficult as it ever will be on a daily basis. You know, when things get stolen from you in prison, or if you steal something from someone in prison, you know, there's never gonna be a good outcome to that at all. Like if something is stolen from you while locked up, I mean, the only options that you have at that point are pretty much all lose-lose options. You can go to war with somebody behind it, hoping that you win, hoping that you look like that tough guy prisoner, like nobody's ever gonna steal nothing from me again. You could try to tell on whoever it is that you think stole from you, which I can promise you is definitely the worst option. You could do nothing about it, which again is another worst option. So it's knowing that there really is no good option when things are stolen from you. The best thing that you can try to do is try to avoid at all costs having anything stolen from you in the first place. But in all reality, that's a lot easier said than done. And while locked up, and at some point I can promise you, something's gonna end up getting stolen from you, and you're gonna have to do something about it. And again, whatever you end up having to do has a very high likelihood of having a lose-lose outcome from it. Hey, look, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you thought about it. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world, never take a moment for granted, and make the most of every day. Peace! But today, this guy's getting released. Damn, we gotta turn around. That's Uncle Billy. We got Uncle Billy.
Hey, there you go. Got us on film.
Free! Already, I just got out. Oh my God.
Dude, it's great to see you, man.
Hey, man.
It's great to see you.
Free at last. Free at last.